Hello, it's Emma Mills here and welcome to episode 166 of my CV, and today's episode is going to be about the 4 things you should always do with a virtual member of your team and why you shouldn't treat them any different to an employee. Over the past 13 years of MiPA's long and illustrious life so far, I have onboarded personally hundreds and hundreds of clients with our PA team, and these clients are all very different kinds of businesses, sectors, sizes, personalities, different kinds of tasks that they need, and we've done this onboarding hundreds of times. And so from that, there are 4 things that I've learned that really make for a successful relationship. And that's not just in working with our company, it's working with any virtual PA, any outsourced worker, anybody that works remotely. And it never fails to surprise me sometimes when clients work with an outsourced person, they might assume a few things. They might assume that they don't need to build a relationship with them. They might assume that they are just going to know everything instantly, like they've got a crystal ball. And they might assume that they just don't really need to, they've just got one job to do and they don't have to communicate with them anything else that's going on in the business. They just kind of can stand alone, do their bit, and it's going to get done successfully. I can categorically say that is probably the worst approach to working with any kind of outsourced worker. And these are my 4 top tips. Top tips, terrible word. My 4 absolutely must-do things when you are working with an outsourced virtual PA, freelancer, anybody at all in any kind of outsourced role. Number 1 is that you must always include them, I think, in any kind of, not every, but as much as possible, whether it's company briefings, company updates, understanding of what's going on, goals, plans, even if it's just targets for the next 3 months, even if it's just a write-up of the whole, a company away day, or even if it's just having some kind of knowledge of what's important to the business, where it's headed, what the main projects are. If you, in any way, shape or form, want this person to be able to do a really good job, know what's important to you, have buy-in. People aren't robots, and they're always going to do a much better job when they have some kind of connection with you and your business. So number 1, whoever you're working with in an outsourced way, you must, as much as possible, treat them just like you would a member, an employed member of the team. Company briefings, updates, company chat, fun stuff, team meetings, and targets, and anything you share with your team on where you're going, it will pay dividends 100%. Number 2 is that just like if you employed somebody and you build a relationship with them, and now obviously not everybody that's employed or sits near you anymore with everything that's gone on in the past year. A lot of people are working from home, but my experience has been that a lot of business owners are much more willing to work with employed staff when things go wrong than necessarily with outsourced staff. And again, in that, a lot of clients can often think that outsourced workers will have a crystal ball, that they should pick it up instantly. And just point number 2 is that when you are working with an outsourced member of the team, you should always be prepared for exactly the same things to happen if you had somebody employed, that something might, there might be a misunderstanding, things might not have been explained in the best way, and it's to be open-minded to want to build that relationship with somebody, and when a mistake happens, to understand why it happened and to learn from it. Don't get me wrong, if it's a completely blatant, obvious, stupid mistake, then I'm not saying that things should be like just put up with or brushed over, but I'm talking about in building a relationship with someone. No one ever is going to pick up a whole role straight away and just know what to do. So you've got to be open-minded to want to work with that person and again build the relationship. Unless you've got someone that is, in fact, I can't even think of a task where it's not cool to not build a relationship. You're going to get so much more buy-in from them, so much more energy into what they do, and it is your time really well spent to always try and create relationship and make them feel a part of your team, your community, and even if you are a solopreneur, to connect with them and have some kind of relationship with them. It's really important. Step number 3, which is a bit more technical, always having a shared workspace. So whether you provide that or whether the company you're working with, you say, actually, I don't have anywhere to save documents or things we can work on, and they can provide that, then ask them for it, because sending documents back and forth, working on different versions, and not having access to things that you need easily, it's an absolute no-no for working virtually. So a shared workspace can solve so many problems, save so much time, and when you're working with a really switched on PA, they'll be able to just manage that shared workspace for you. You know, create the folder structures, what needs to be saved where, and every time they work on something, it can be in a shared place for you to both to look at. So number 3, a little bit more technical, but always have a shared workspace. And number 4, I mean, this is a little bit of a tricky one, and some people will be like, I don't ever do this, Emma. And some people will be like, this is my natural position, so I'm afraid that I always do this. But micromanaging, when, I mean, whether you have an employee or whether you have a virtual member of the team, micromanaging can really damage somebody's ability to do a job well. And it's not about tracing their every move so that you know that they're doing it well. What you ultimately remove is somebody's ability to think for themselves and to try and make decisions, and you lose out from gaining on their experience or own decisions. And I mean, unless you're a business owner who just wants a team around them of people who just do exactly what you say, and you just want a team of robots, and you don't want anyone to ever come back to you with any kind of thought or expression or opinion, then maybe you do want to micromanage. But micromanaging doesn't give people confidence, and it really, really dampens their initiative, their common sense, their ability to want to help you, their ability to feel like they can express maybe a better way to do something, or to to improve on something, or to suggest things to you which might be of benefit. So where you can, as long as you have given someone the tools to do the job well, what good looks like, what the steps are to do it, the logins, explanation, and as long as you make it clear that somebody can ask questions, that's really important. You need to scrap micromanaging. And if you do that, I'm trying to think of a way to let you understand that you are doing that. Ultimately, if you are on everybody's every single move, commenting, asking for updates, not just letting somebody go away, do the job and report back to you, it's going to really hamper the community and also people's ability to do a job well in your business. So micromanaging, you need to get rid of that. So those are my top 4 things. You need to include them in the company communications as much as possible. You need to be willing and to help them and learn from mistakes. And if somebody makes a mistake, it means that somebody else might do that in the future. And so you just understand what happened and how we solve it. Make sure you have a shared workspace. Don't be sending things back and forth. And number 4, please don't micromanage, because it can be really, really soul destroying for really good people. So those are my top 4 things from episode 165 to get your head out of the dirt, into the clouds, and surround yourself with people who can help you, support you, and want to see your business do well. I'll see you next week for episode 167. See you then. Bye-bye.